Hey guys, it's Tim Miller from the Bulwark. There was a DNC speech that has gotten not quite as much attention as the Obamas or Doug Emhoff, but included maybe the most damning reveal about Donald Trump's absence of character that we've seen all week. It came from his former press secretary, Stephanie Grisham. Now, Stephanie is not one of the former Trump people that I knew personally. She was an authentic MAGA supporter, right? She even goes on in her speech to talk about how the Trumps became part of her family. She became the press secretary after Sean Spicer there in the White House. She was not one of these like Mitch McConnell type soulless Republicans that knew better and sold out to Trump. No, she was somebody that believed in him and believed in MAGA and was swept up in it. And so to me, that gives her testimony a lot of credibility, because she can speak to MAGA voters and say, hey, I'm one of you. Like, I'm not one of these East Coast establishment Republican shills who turned on Donald Trump and betrayed him, like Tim Miller at the Bulwark. I'm not one of those guys, right? I am from the heartland. I love Trump. I wore the hat. I went to the rallies. I became ensconced in his whole life, in his whole family. I saw him. And what I saw repulsed me. And that is why I'm voting for Kamala Harris. That is powerful. That is an effective messenger for reaching potentially gettable voters out there. So I want to watch now from her speech, just a very brief clip where she talks about what sickened her the most about Donald Trump.
The Trump family became my family. I spent Easter, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and New Year's all at Mar-a-Lago. I saw him when the cameras were off. Behind closed doors, Trump mocks his supporters. He calls them basement dwellers. On a hospital visit one time when people were dying in the ICU, he was mad that the cameras were not watching him. He has no empathy, no morals, and no fidelity to the truth.
Man, two parts to that. One, just on a human level. We all know this about Trump, that he's a sociopath. We talk about with George Conway on here. He's got no empathy. No empathy. He's in the ICU. People are dying around him. Like a normal person, even an egomaniac who is mildly in touch with human emotion, that has just the minimum amount of EQ, would at least pretend to care about the people that are suffering and dying around him. Not Donald Trump. Donald Trump was worried that the cameras weren't focused enough on him. Like, that is delusional. That is insane. That is like just the sign of a person whose heart is black. And the testimony, again, is not coming from somebody who doesn't like Donald Trump. It's coming from somebody that was spending holidays with Trump. Next is another thing that we all know, but hearing from her adds just a layer of power to it, which is that Donald Trump hates his own voters. He doesn't care about the forgotten man. He doesn't care about the people in hollowed out communities that have been screwed over by globalization. He doesn't care about the divorced dads that show up to his rallies and their troubles. He cares about Trump. That's it. And he calls the people that show up to his rallies the basement dwellers. He sees his own voters the way that Republicans pretend like Democrats see them. Republicans are always like, Democrats look down on these voters. They think they're deplorables. They shake their finger at them. And you heard last night at the convention, Barack Obama, I think, give a very moving argument for the opposite of that, for loving your neighbor, for caring about someone even if they disagree with you politically, for everybody engaging with them. That's the value that you want in a president. Forget caring about somebody that disagrees with him politically. Obviously, Donald Trump doesn't care about people that disagree with him politically. Donald Trump doesn't even care about the people that agree with him. He doesn't care about their problems. He cares about himself. And Stephanie Grisham was there to see it and hear it firsthand. And she was there to be let down. Never meet your heroes, right? Certainly never meet your hero if your hero is Donald Trump. We are going to be continuing wall-to-wall convention coverage. I have got a great video also out today, if you've missed it, with Jon Favreau. We get the behind the scenes on the Barack Obama speech from the convention. You are not going to want to miss that. Subscribe to the feed. We'll be talking to you soon.